Alright, good morning guys. Hope everybody is doing well. Alright, yes guys, so I'll tell you what we're looking for today. We're looking to actually start trailing higher now that we've come into a discount. So if you come onto the 15-minute, you can see here that we've come into a discount in price and we're getting red vector candles coming into some imbalances left inside the charts. The only concern for me, for us, for the long, is the fact that if we inverse this 4 hour, then I'd be very cautious and all trades would kind of be off the table once we inverse this price right here. So I've got the 4 hour low marked out, and if we actually close in 16 minutes below that, then that will pretty much be us done for the day, as it'd be too risky to take a long and it'd be too much of a stop loss to take the short. So that'll be us done for the day once we take out the 4 hour low, and then we wouldn't have much else to do. But our target today would be these London highs. We still have yesterday's low, but the reason I don't think we're going to see yesterday's low is because it's respected this 4 hour green vector candle as yesterday's low. So I feel like this should just be a run up and we're just having a pullback to only continue higher. And that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. We're coming up to the all-time highs, and the sentiment today is that Trump's tariffs have been paused or blocked or whatever's happened over there. Therefore, there should be a bullish sentiment around the marketplace today. So I feel like this is just a trap lower to only come higher later on. That's kind of the thought process I've got going on. Of course, we don't know anything and we're only speculating, so we have to wait and see if we actually get what we're looking for. This would actually turn into the market structure shift, and hopefully we don't disrespect this 1 hour right now. So if we come on to the 1 hour, we still have 15 minutes left for this inversion to be fulfilled. If that inversion gets fulfilled, then it's very dangerous territory to take any kind of long from that point. So we've got to wait about 15 minutes really before we can confidently take a trade. But of course, if we get a nice green push candle up, then I would actually look to take it regardless. So that's what I'm thinking today, guys. That is my thought process. But as you guys are aware, we've actually we're entering the summer months. So this is kind of unusual to see a 100-point move at the New York Open straight away, 168-point move. It's unusual, so hopefully we can take advantage of this as one of our last big trading days before we kind of go into the ice age of trading. That's what we're hoping for. We want to try and secure some profits before it really gets slow. So if you guys have ever traded the summer season, you know how slow it gets. It's the same probability in trades. It just means there's going to be less trades, and they are going to be significantly slower. You know, you're going to be up and down in drawdown, out of drawdown, and it will eventually, their algorithm will kick in and shoot down whichever direction we anticipate, if our bias is correct. Yeah, summer months aren't the best, guys, but yeah, I'll always be honest with you guys. If I don't think it's very interesting, or it's hard to learn during the summer because it's so slow and you don't get very many trades. You know, normally we get so in the winter months, you could see if you go back to November, September, December time of this channel, we had about 4 trades a week. And as we've slowly entered the end of spring, we're taking 2 to 3 trades a week. And now we're coming into taking 2 trades a week. And then in the summer, you know, it comes down to 1 or 2. It really does. It does slow down a lot. So now it's kind of just to wait until September time. That's when it will start picking back up again. Fortunately, it's just the way it goes. It's the cycle. It is what it is. So the guys that have just joined in, I'm going to break it down what we're looking for right now. So we come on to the 15-minute. You can see here we're sat inside of imbalances, fair value gaps. We've just tapped into this one as well. We've tapped into the daily open, which is where the market opened, or the price that market opened at. And then if we come over to the 4 hourly, you can see here that we've nearly inversed this 4 hour gap, but we have not yet. We've still got 6 minutes. So if that doesn't occur, then we could be good to actually come higher and take out London highs. That's what we're looking for right now. There's a few things that need to come into play in order for us to feel confident in that trade. And also we have a 1 hour fair value gap. If that gets inverted, it'd be a little bit of concern. Let's put it that way. Alright, price is now inverted. This on ES. So if we saw this on NQ, then we would be in this trade. Okay, guys, I just had my mic on mute and I was actually talking that entire time. So let me run you through what I was saying, if I can remember. As now I have to backtrack and try and think what I haven't said and what I have said. But okay, guys, so what we're looking for right now is we can see prices respecting this green vector candle. That's what we want to see. But if we do not see that, it's not a problem, because what we look for, if you guys are still trying to learn how to trade the system if you're new, that's exactly what we're looking for. So we want to see market makers set a trap people into the longs, take them out of their position, force them into the shorts with this candle low, thinking it's going to be a breakout trade to actually go lower. And then it's going to displace higher, invert all of these fair value gaps along the way, and then we'd look to catch an entry on the retrace at the last swing high. That's kind of what we're looking for. That for me would be very, very strong. Of course, if we don't see that, then we'll have to improvise, but this would be the best setup possible in this scenario. And where we've just swept that 4-hour low, that is a liquidity sweep in my eyes. That's present, that is good. I'm happy with that. We swept this 4-hour candle right here after a huge expansion. So anybody that ever got in long anywhere in this candle would have put their stops below this 4-hour. So if price is looking to travel higher, that is something people would put their stops below that 4-hour right there. The only issue that we do now have, guys, is we've inversed this 1 hour and we've now inverted this 4-hour. So not ideal, let's put it that way. So the higher time frame confluence is it's difficult to say. We're stuck in this weekly fair value gap that we've been eyeing up for a long period of time. So that would suggest to us that we're bearish. But personally, for me, I am looking for these London highs. Sorry. Of course, we have yesterday's low, but the reason that I don't think that's more probable than this is the reason being that we've come out of this fair value gap green vector candle, spiked back into it, consumed all the orders that were stuck in this area, and then moved higher. And the sentiment overall on the day anyway is that the Trump tariffs have been blocked, which is a bullish sentiment. Therefore, that gives me the inclination that we're actually looking to move higher. And this seems like a little bit of a manipulation leg to trap people into the shorts to send it higher later on. But, you know, it's all speculation. You're never 100% right. So we'll just see what we get. If we get the chips in our favour, then we take the trade. If we don't, we don't. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. I'm just trying to ingrain that into your head. I know I keep saying it all the time in the streams, but I can guarantee we only pressed one button today, this week, and we had a break-even trade, essentially. And I know there's a few guys in the chat that have probably blown an account this week, you know what I mean? Because they're not listening, and they're thinking they can trade whatever session they want and things like that. Just try not to do that, guys. There's no point. Just wait for the clean setup in the session that you know how it moves, and go from there. But the bit that I always try and ingrain into your mind is you need to understand why things are happening. Why is it moving down like this? It's hunting stops. It's a stop hunt. So once it's taken up the stops, it can travel higher because it's not going to pay retail, or it's not going to pay whoever is in this short that's not part of the big boys club. The big boys club are the guys that are behind the scenes. Your big Warren Buffetts, your Donald Trumps, your Zelenskys, all of this stuff, all the big boys. They know exactly where this price is going to go because of the policies they're about to bring out. It's going to send price in a certain direction. That they just manipulate the markets and go the other way. Same with market makers. They're in on the loop. They know exactly what's going to happen. They know what news is about to come out 5 days before it comes out because they inform them. Shit like that, okay? So if it's hunting stops and market maker is aggressively pushing price down, I know eventually he's going to want to reverse at some point because he's aggressively pushed price down, forced people into shorts, took people out of longs. Eventually it's going to come back up. So that's the thought process I have. And that's the full process you have to try and adapt to. You know, all of it, drawing rectangles on a chart doesn't mean anything. You know, anybody can do that. You know, you could give a 5-year-old ICT 2022 mentorship and they know exactly what they're doing. It's what's happening behind the scenes, behind the charts that you don't see. You have to build that story in your head in order to have confidence in taking a trade. Otherwise, you are just essentially gambling. So don't do that. You know, I just use these fair value gaps and things like that as a framework for the way that I think about how the markets move. So yeah, I'll draw out that thing again, what we're looking for. Spike down, come up. That's essentially what we want to see. I'll leave this on here just for scientific purposes. But that's ideally what we're looking for. Alright guys, so this is exactly what we were looking for, and that's why you don't rush these trades. You know, I know that looks tempting to take, but there's no clear indication the price has finished moving lower at that point. But the big concern for me is that we've now inversed this 4-hour. We've completely inversed it now. So the big concern, the price is just going to continue to drop. And yeah, we'll just have to go from there. The only other point I can see price coming to is yesterday's low. And then if we sweep that, then we do have a lot of leg room to move higher. Once we sweep this low, I would be happy for this inversion to not really enter my mind. And I would class this as an A+ setup if we sweep yesterday's low and then target London highs, which is around, one sec guys, it's around 500 points, which would be the biggest trade that we've ever taken on the channel. So yeah, we'll stick around for that. Hopefully we get an entry to actually come higher. And I think our TP would be at the high of this red vector candle. We wouldn't target London highs, we'd target the high of this red, just to secure it. There's not really worth risking losing 400 points for 50-point gain. So that would be our final TP if we ever got it. I'll mark it out now so you guys can see that's where I'm going to put the final TP once we catch an entry. So we may be in this trade for a little while. It may take, you know, an hour or two, but it's not a problem. But you can see price hasn't spiked this low and then moved higher. It's just continued to drop. So it's a little bit concerning, and the market structure shift would now be this high right here. So yeah, really I want to see this yesterday's low taken at this point. Alright, so this ideology that we had is completely dead at this point. We'll continue to monitor price and see if we catch an entry, but it's not looking too good so far. Alright guys, that's when now you got to be patient and wait to see how the candle reacts. You know, we didn't have a green vector pushing price out. It wasn't a strong trade to take, so you just monitor price and see when it taps into it. If it's going to hold it and move away, or if it's just going to set up a trap to just shoot down, take people out of the trade, and then move later on. So we avoided that bullet. Happy days. We'll wait for the next trade. Alright guys, so if we catch a clean displacement here, then I'm going to look to take this trade.
Order filled.
Order filled.
Don't you dare. Alright. Alright guys, so I'm going to close out half there.
Order filled.
Order filled.
Alright guys, that's us closed out too right there. The 50% retracement. So you can see there, as soon as it hit that 50% retracement, it snapped into it and then just moved away aggressively. So yeah, 25 points in the bag. Happy days, guys. Happy days. I mean, the 50% retracement really is there. But yeah, let's see if we can catch second TP, 76 points away. Alright, move stops to complete break even now. 448. Alright, there we go, guys. So hopefully we just can see a continuation from this point and secure. And I'll put the second TP in case.
Order filled.
No need for second.
Stop filled.
Alright, no need for second TP, gang. No need for second TP. Alright guys, there we go. So do you guys want to break down? Wait there. Oh, bloody hay fever. Alright, do you guys want to break down of that trade that we take? Or are you guys all happy with what you see? And you fully understand? I'll wait to see if any... I don't understand this trade. Yeah, no problem, mate. I've got you. So you can see here, the 4 hour. So I was using the 4 hour candle as the liquidity sweep right here. So you can see price took out this point right here. So I was happy to take a long from this point. So I was looking for longs that entire time. And then we had our famous thing that we look for. You know, the drop down, come back up, take out this low right here, displace higher, catch an entry off that point, and then off we go. So as you can see, if you zoom in right now, you can see that it took out this high right here, and then our entry was the first presented gap above price. We should have seen a continuation here higher. The reason for moving the first TP, so closing 50%, so our first TP actually rested right here at the high of this red vector. The reason why we changed it mid trade was because the 50% retracement of that candle. So if price wants to travel higher from that point, it would engulf this entire red candle and move away. So what I did was move it at 25 points, because if you come into here, our entry, and then that was our take thingy right there. That's where we got out, was 25 points. So I was happy taking 25 points on that trade, as we didn't see an acceleration in price. I thought for two. Oh shit, did I mess that up? Ah shit, my bad guys. Yeah, no, I put the yeah, no, you are right. I did put the stop loss incorrectly. Right, if you were on the stream, you would have seen where the stop loss was. It's always 25 points. Yeah, my apologies. I think I put the entry as the stop loss. My bad. Yeah, either way, you'll be absolutely fine. Price didn't come down far enough to actually take anybody out of that trade, because it just literally come into it and then moved away. So hopefully you didn't put your stop loss at break even. I'm sure you guys are aware of that. But yeah, my bad. I was trying to put the the entry price for you guys. I think I put stop loss. So yeah, happy days. Anybody got any questions surrounding that trade? I think we secured. How much we secure on that trade? I think that was a little trade. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, $780 across all the accounts. So yeah, just a nice little trade. then we'll go on to the and then just a minor 120 on the top step. Step X, that's times 2, and then so we totaled $6,480 on that trade. All right, happy days, guys. Anybody got any questions, or is that it? I believe that's it. So I'm guessing most of you guys understand the concept behind that trade. So the indication for me, the price was looking to go higher, was we inversed this 1 minute IFVG, and once we see an expansion after we'd taken out this IFVG, I was confident in taking the trade. Yeah, move was to sell, mate. Yeah, it definitely was to sell. But you can't tell that. Like, how can you always say that. You always come in and say, oh, it's this, it's that, after it happens. But how would you know? There's not really an indication. You have to wait for the 9:30 open to give you the move. But yeah, the sell's where the play. But there's not really any way you can enter on that unless you're gambling. You know, unless you've got a gut theory, then yeah, that's fine. All right, guys, I'll leave it as that. And yeah, I'll put the short out in a second of the live stream highlight. All right, guys, peace out, peace out, peace out.